It's 2024 now, so I wanted to start off the year with a brand new video. However, I realized I had this one video idea that I wanted to do in November, but I never got around to it, so I thought, yeah, sure, we'll just make this the first video of 2024. Anyway, this video is about Chicken Little, the 2005 animated film from Disney, Chicken Little, a movie that I grew up with, and I remember really loving a lot as a kid. But, like most things I enjoyed as a kid, it's kind of stupid now. But I still kind of like it, honestly. I don't know, it's like a whole thing. And this movie's just weird. It's a weird trip. But like, I want to talk about it because, well, originally it was because it was in honor of Disney's 100th anniversary. Because last year, as you remember, was Disney's 100th anniversary. There was a lot of stuff to promote it. There was like advertisements, there was products, and there was the release of Wish, Disney's movie to celebrate their 100 years of like Walt Disney Animation Studios. And I did not watch it. I was going to, but then I heard like all this stuff about it, and I was just like, I think I'll skip it, which is a shame. It's a shame that I'm saying that for like a Disney movie, especially one that's supposed to be like a monumental event, but it just didn't look that interesting to me. And like from what I hear, it's just not that great, but I'll give it a fair chance whenever it comes out on Disney Plus, and I'll check it out then. But yeah, point is, it didn't seem like a lot of people loved that movie. But you know what a lot of people did love? Once Upon a Studio, the short that they released before the movie, and even like, I don't just mean like before the movie, like when they played in the theaters. I mean, they also released it like, I think like a month or so before the actual movie release. But it was a short that showed off all their characters from their Disney animated movies, the Walt Disney Animation Studios movies, and even stuff from some other things like specials and whatnot. And it has a bunch of characters. It had Peter Pan, it had Alice in Wonderland, those characters, some Frozen characters, Encanto characters, Mickey Mouse, and there were even like some surprise people like the Prep and Landing characters. When I saw that, I was just like, oh my god, that's the Prep and Landing elves. Like, oh my god, this is so exciting. I love Prep and Landing. Might do a Prep and Landing video this upcoming Christmas. But the point is, like, yeah, that was like all exciting stuff, and it was legitimately pretty fun. What seemed like it could be just like shameless like Disney promotion and going off like, oh, look at all the stuff that we own. It legitimately felt like a love letter to everything Disney from the past 100 years from the main studio, and like I said, even some minor things here and there. But the one thing that got me and my sister excited when we first like watched it was when we saw, well, the Prep and Landing house, but also Chicken Little. We saw Chicken Little and we were like, oh my god, is that our boy Chicken Little? And it was like, oh, like legitimately, we got excited for Chicken Little, even though we think the movie is not that great. But like, I don't know, man, just that got me excited, like, oh my god, it's Chicken Little. I just got super excited because Chicken Little is a movie that like I don't think is good, or at least not as good as I remember as a kid, but I still love to like jokingly say I love it, like whether it be with my friends or family, just going like, man, Chicken Little, what a masterpiece of a film. It's like a fun movie, just like meme on and clown on and just like quote it for stupid reasons. Like, yeah, no, legitimately, a while back, my friends and I had like this like thing where we just kept quoting that one line that Chicken Little says in the movie. He says, "Who are we talking about?" when he tries to get out of a conversation, and we just kept saying that. Well, we kind of switched between saying who we talking about and what we talking about, but it was just fun, honestly. That was like really stupid. It probably doesn't sound funny to you now, but it was really funny to us. I swear. Point is, Chicken Little. It's it's a stupid movie, but I kind of liked it, honestly. And I thought, to celebrate the 100th anniversary, I would go ahead and rewatch it and do a video on it. But then some stuff got in the way. I never did that. But now here we are, beginning in 2024, and I'm not gonna let all that research that I did go to waste. That's right, watching the movie and then reading the Wikipedia article on it. That was my research, and I'm not letting it go to waste. So I'm gonna do this Chicken Little video and talk about how this movie is so strange. I don't really get its entire deal, but man, it's kind of fun. It's kind of got some good parts in it, and I enjoyed it, even though it is very stupid. But let's talk about it. Chicken Little was released in 2005, and it was directed by Mark Dindal, the same guy who directed The Emperor's New Groove. And the original plot of the movie was going to be Chicken Little being this like little girl chicken who went to this summer camp to try to improve like her bravery skills or something. I don't know. She was just super anxious about everything, and she went to summer camp to try to get better at, being more confident and whatnot, and while also trying to improve the relationship with her father. Alright, seems like it could be like a nice, cute little story about this family with some problems, but as the movie goes on, they realize they love each other, and they grow stronger together. And in the same process, Chicken Little becomes braver. However, sometime down the line, they changed the plot to Chicken Little is now a movie about Chicken, a boy chicken played by Zach Braff, who lives in this like world of like anthropomorphic animals, and like he says that the sky is falling at one point. Everyone does not believe him. He makes a fool of himself, so everyone makes fun of him, and his father is ashamed of him. He's embarrassed of him, and so now Chicken Little has to try to find a way to bring back the approval of his father and everyone in town. So he plays a baseball game, and then he goes like, oh yes, he wins, and now he's the town hero. But then all of a sudden, the sky falls again, and it turns out this time it was because of aliens. So now he tries to explain to everyone that it's aliens, but then his father says, oh my god, why are you embarrassing me? No one believes him, and so now Chicken Little is a loser again. But then it turns out that they accidentally took the one of the baby aliens, so now the parent aliens are back and they're taking over, and they like try to destroy everything until they find the baby. And so now Chicken Little has to go with his father to return the baby to the aliens, and now that's the plot. They gotta stop the aliens. So yeah, that's the movie. Now, what's funny is like, unless there's like a better source of information than Wikipedia, I know, imagine. Like during the production, it says that like while that was the original plot, the whole summer camp thing, sometime down the line it just changed to like aliens. And it like they don't give any further explanation of how we got to that. They just go like, oh yeah, so it was originally this, but then sometime down the line they changed it to Chicken Little, like saving the town from aliens. And I'm just like, how do you get from that? How? I want to know. I'm sure there's like a better source of information out there than Wikipedia, probably. Maybe I should like, I don't know, this is something in the special features of the DVD that I never, as a kid, I always watched this like when they aired it on Disney Channel and Disney XD. Yes, I just think that's hilarious that like it just went from that to that, and I have no idea how. It just seems so bizarre. In fact, a lot of this movie is really bizarre, especially the tone and style of it. So this movie takes place in this world of like anthropomorphic animals. Alright, there's like fish, dogs, pigs, chickens obviously. Or I guess they're roosters since they're male. I have no idea. Point is, there's anthropomorphic animals, which, alright, we've seen that in other stuff. But it also, there's like things that like don't entirely make sense about the world that make you really question it. Like there's a moment where like the animals are watching Indiana Jones, like actually Indiana Jones, like with Harrison Ford and everything, and then like Run to the Litter, the pig character, says like he references Star Wars at one point, so it's like, okay, George Lucas films exists in this world. Okay, so like are they animals? But like we saw Harrison Ford, he's not an animal. And they also reference other things like Spice Girls music. They sing Wannabe by the Spice Girls at one point, and also Don't Go Breaking My Heart by Ellen John. So is this like BoJack Horseman or something? Do like humans and animals coexist? We never see humans, so I'm assuming not, but I have no idea what's going on. And also aliens, like I mentioned before, aliens happen to exist in this world, so alright, what's that all about? But the thing is, like, I don't really feel like this is like a problem per se, at least not in a different way. I'll explain what I mean. Some people like go like, there's like no rules to this world. But to me, I see this more as like trying to be like very cartoony. It kind of gives me the same vibe that like a Nickelodeon show or a Cartoon Network show would have. Like for example, like Back at the Barnyard, or like if we want to go for a Cartoon Network example, like Chowder, or if we want to go for a Disney example, then like maybe like Fish Hooks or something, where like there's like the rules. There are no coherent rules to how the world works in these shows. It's just, hey, we just know that these kind of talking animal like creatures exist, and they go on wacky stuff, and they just do whatever to make the jokes like funny or something, or make the stories funny. And then it's Chicken Little is not one for one like those three examples that I mentioned, but it's like kind of gives me the same vibe. It's like, hey, they just kind of do whatever seems like funny at the moment, even if it doesn't make sense to what is established, because nothing really is established. And honestly, I don't really feel like that's entirely bad. Like, I will admit, I do think that works better for a TV show than it does a full-length film, and I'll explain a little bit. But like, I was able to run with this. I was just like, all right, this is all very weird, very strange world, but I'll go along with it. And I went along with it as a kid because I loved this movie as a kid. But like, yeah, and like, so yeah, that's not what I find strange about this. But like another thing that I find strange is that when they like try to tell like a legitimately heartfelt story, it doesn't really work. But like when they try to tell a legitimate heartfelt story, it feels kind of weird because like the heartfelt moments don't feel like you warranted or like they earned it, because like the characters are kind of jerks. But I'll get into that later. Also because it's like, I don't know, it's like you have like this like a scene where like Chicken Little has made himself look like a fool and everything, and you've already had all those strange moments before, and then you have this moment where like he's like looking sad, and then he's looking up at the stars, and then this song that like this really like this like kind of somber song that has like these kind of sad lyrics about loving someone even though they don't love you back, and they goes, it's really all I know, and then like it's like that's playing, and then you just see Chicken Little, just looking at it. It's so stupid and goofy. I'm sorry for that moment. That was probably cringe. I'm sorry, but like, it's a very goofy moment. It's hard to really take seriously. I was laughing when that was playing. Honestly, the song itself is really nice. I listened to it on its own. It's a good song. I think it's All I Know by Five for Fighting, I believe, or a cover at least by Five for Fighting. I don't know. Point is, it's a nice song, but like when it's at that moment, it's just like. It's really funny. It's honestly really funny. I know the director of this movie, Mark Dindal, also directed The Emperor's New Groove, which also had like a lot of like silly moments in it, like cartoony moments, yet also tried to have a sincere and heartfelt story in it. And I remember that working actually pretty well. And I'm wondering like if like maybe he just like fumbled with this one. I don't know. Maybe like I feel like Chicken Little has a lot of stuff that's a lot more weird than what was in like The Emperor's New Groove. But also I feel like going back to what I said earlier, Chicken Little does not feel like it earns a lot of its heartfelt or sincere moments in it. And Emperor's New Groove very much did. And here's the thing, with Chicken Little, it like tries to have like the story about like this father and son. They need to repair their relationship. They need to communicate. They need closure, as like Abby says. But man, it's like, I don't know, I just don't feel like the movie actually tells that story pretty well, like at all. Like first of all, Buck Cluck, this is the one thing everyone mentions when they talk about this movie. Buck Cluck is a real cock. I'm allowed to say that, by the way, because he is a chicken rooster thing, whatever. He's a jerk. He's a terrible piece of crap father. Probably one of the worst animated fathers out there. And that's saying a lot, honestly, because there's some quite bad ones, honestly. I'm bad at speaking. Point is, he is terrible. He doesn't support his son at all. He he finds him, he's embarrassed of him. Just like when everyone in town goes like, how could you have him? And he goes like, you're right, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. And you go like, oh, this guy's a piece of crap. And the thing is, I know that the movie wants us to know that, because like the whole thing is that he has to learn that he should be on his son's side. But the thing is, like, when he finally realizes that, I still don't feel like it's earned, because like I never really get why he was like that anyway. Besides the fact that, like, I don't know, he was embarrassed, I guess. Which, first of all, like, embarrassed of your son? Come on, man, that sucks. Like, I think about like. To use an example from another Disney animated project, The Owl House, where in that show they had a thing where, I guess spoilers for The Owl House, sorry, if you wanted to watch a Chicken Little video and haven't seen The Owl House and I was spoiling it, sorry, you can leave, sorry, you can just go watch the show. In The Owl House, Lewis's mom at first kind of wants her to tone down her weirdness, and you think, oh, that's not great, why are you letting her do that? But then later on in the show, mainly season 3, we find out that like she actually does love her weirdness, and the reason she just wanted her to do that was because she had a similar like problem with like in her life. She like had that like kind of geekiness to her, but she had to tone that down as she got older. And then she learns that like, oh, she shouldn't do that to Lou. She should let her just be free, be herself, and she becomes more understanding of her. And we actually see that progress with her. We see that, and here in Chicken Little, we don't really see that. We don't really know why Buck Cluck is like this. Like, there is one moment where he looks at a picture of his like dead wife, and she goes like, you know what, if only you were here, you know what to say. And like, I guess maybe if they want to explore that, then sure, they could have a story about like maybe like with the wife gone, like he legitimately doesn't know how to raise a child on its own. We could see him failing, and then maybe Chicken Little and like Buck Cluck could have bonded over that, like that they both miss her or something. But no, we don't get that. We just kind of get him off to the side, just being like, man, I'm sorry, town, I'm sorry, my son is terrible. And then we go, Buck Cluck, you stupid cock. I can still say that, he's a chicken rooster thing, whatever. But yeah, throughout the movie, we see like Chicken Little is like made fun of by the town, and he's like shunned by his father. But there are some people who do like him, and that are his friends. Abby Mallard, who is the ugly duckling, Run to the Litter, and Fish Out of Water. I don't remember if they had different names, but I think that's kind of that's pretty funny. I think like Ugly Duckling, Run to the Litter, Fish Out of Water. They're the kids who are like the outcasts of everyone, the unpopular ones at school, and they're literally named after, their names are Ugly Duckling, Run to the Litter, and Fish Out of Water. Things that are outcast. I don't know. I like that. That's neat. But like there's also other characters like Foxy Loxy, who's like a bully, Goosey Lucy, who is like kind of like always with her. The fact that I remember once I was talking about this movie with one of my friends, and they were surprised that I memorized as many names as I did, and they were like kind of surprised. I don't know, is that weird that I memorized most of the names from the Chicken Little movie? But anyway, yes. So these are like kind of the people that Chicken Little hangs out with at school, or is made fun of at school. And like this kind of goes along with what I said before, where this feels like it could be like more of a show than a movie, honestly. Honestly, I could see like an alternate universe where Chicken Little was a TV show instead, where it'd be like Chicken Little and his friends, they're outcasts at school, but through their wacky adventures, maybe they'll become popular one day, and like episodes could be about that, or saving the town from aliens or mystical stuff, I don't know. And then there could be like an ongoing like subplot with Chicken Little and Abby, which, oh yeah, in this movie Abby has a crush on Chicken Little, but she doesn't admit it. And then later on, I guess like Chicken Little just like full on makes out with her at one point, you know, and then they're together at the end, I guess. I remember there was going to be like, I think I heard once that there was going to be like a direct to DVD sequel, and it was gonna follow that, I think, their relationship, and there was a clip of it or like a storyboard clip of it somewhere. I don't know, I could be wrong, but I remember seeing something like that like many years ago when I was learning about like, oh, cancel Disney sequels, those kind of videos. I'm kind of rambling at this point. I shouldn't be talking about like movies that don't exist. I'm supposed to be talking about a movie that does exist, Chicken Little. Point is, these are his friends, and honestly, I like Fish Out of Water. He's like fun-ish. Like he's just kind of like, he doesn't speak at all. He just makes bubble sounds, you know. And then not like that at all. That was terrible. Then there was Run to the Litter, who honestly I found kind of annoying. He was really annoying in this. Abby Mallory was fine, I guess. She was just kind of like the friend that goes like, hey, Chicken Little, you should talk to your father, and also like, you know, has feelings for Chicken Little. So that's kind of like her thing. And it's like they're fine, I guess. Honestly, they're the only people who are nice to Chicken Little for like most of the movie, so I guess I kind of have to like them because like they're not like complete jerks like everyone else. But like you know, Run to the Litter is still really annoying. They're even the only people who support like Chicken Little when he wants to play baseball. They train him, and then like everyone else is just kind of like, Chicken Little, you can't play baseball, you suck. Also, you're like really tiny and everything. But one day he gets the moment to finally shine. He plays the game and he actually wins one for the team, and then everyone loves him. But then it all comes crumbling down when a piece of the sky falls again. But it turns out it's from a spaceship. And then aliens, that's right, aliens are in this, and it just kind of comes out of nowhere. My main issue with the alien stuff is that it's not really, it really just comes out of nowhere. It's like not foreshadowed at all or anything, and it's like it's like the movie is like relatively normal-ish. I put that in quotation marks because like I said, not much about like the rules about this world don't make sense, but it's still relatively normal-ish, where it's like, okay, I get it. It's like like this town, there's animals instead of people, except in movies, I guess. So it's like, okay, I get it. It's so, yeah. But then all of a sudden, aliens just show up. It's aliens. I like the designs of the aliens though, and they're robots that they like use to like walk around and everything. Those are cool. I'm a sucker for like alien and robot crap in movies and like shows and whatnot. So I think that stuff is pretty cool. But like, it just kind of, like I said, it comes out of nowhere, and it doesn't really add to like, you know, the subplot about, like, not the subplot, it's kind of more of the main plot, but like, you know what I mean, the main like idea of the story that they want to go for, which is like Chicken Little trying to repair his relationship with his dad, doesn't really help out with that. Like, I think of something like The Mitchells versus the Machines. This video has been mostly me just talking about better movies, I realized, but in Mitchells versus the Machines, yeah, like robots come in, but like it still helps along with what the main plot of the movie is, and it's about like the family, like specifically the father and daughter, like coming together and like learning to like understand each other more. And like the robot stuff actually helps with that, because, you know, it's like, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to go too far into deep into that, because I mainly am supposed to be talking about Chicken Little, but like yeah, that's what I mean. Like in that movie, they do like the sci-fi stuff actually integrates better with like the main story that they're going for, emotional core of it, where in this one it's like, no, it's I guess there's Chicken Little and his father, and then all of a sudden like aliens and stuff. But I guess it kind of comes around towards the third act when like Chicken Little finally says, you never have my back, and you know, I have to do this by myself, because they realize that the aliens are here because they accidentally took one of their children, and so they gotta return it. But then all of a sudden, Cluck goes like, you know, I'm on your side now, after they have a talk. And what I find so funny is that like when he's like finally on his side, it doesn't feel earned. It just feels like very insincere the way he says things. Like he says things like the same way like if you have like a crappy friend who like tries to be better, and he says things, or they say things like this, like, tell me about your problems, this time I'll listen. It comes across like that. It's like, don't worry son, I'm on your side now. And then he goes up to like the alien father and goes like, that's bad parenting, I should know. And it's like, bro, shut up you cock, which I can say because he's a rookie. Anyway, other stuff about this movie. The animation, it was Disney's second attempt at CG animated movie. I guess first, if you want to count like the fact that like Dinosaur, their first one, was like only the characters were CG and everything else, like all the landscapes, the backgrounds were live action. But this one, it was all CG, and honestly, it looks fine-ish for the time. You know, it's like I think I get what they're trying to go for with the designs, like kind of be more cartoony-ish than like some other stuff. So like, you know, it works fine. Some of the character designs are memorable at least. You could tell like they had to reuse a lot of like character models though, because you'll see a lot of the same like bunnies and dogs and bears in a lot of scenes, like the same models. For a lot of the characters look kind of the same, just different color swaps. But like, you know, it was Disney's like second attempt at a CG animated movie, so you can go with it. It's like I kind of like the way the world looks, like you know, like it all looks kind of cartoony, and it's like it's appealing enough. I think the comedy in the movie good. You know, that's subjective. It all really depends on like what you think is funny. Personally, me, I guess technically not. It's not really all that funny. I laugh, but like I laugh more at like things that I don't think are like supposed to be funny. Like I said, the scene where like Chicken Little's looking up the stars and then like that song starts playing. That got a good laugh out of me. I did like the joke of like the running gag of like Chicken Little. I say it's a running gag. It's happened 3 times. It's said twice by Chicken Little and once by the alien, where to get out of a conversation he goes, "Who are we talking about?" Like I said before, like my friends and I just started repeating that to each other when we didn't know what to say, and it was really funny to us. I'm sure it does not sound funny to you, but it was really funny to us. That's all you need to know. And so that makes me laugh for just, I don't know if it's for the line itself, but just for how much my friend group used it. So yeah, I think Zach Braff as Chicken Little is funny. Like the voice itself, like I don't know, just doesn't look like it should come out of that body. But like I don't know, I think it's funny, honestly. That's who they decided to cast, Zach Braff. Like I mean, like I'm not trying to be mean to Zach Braff or anything. He seems to be doing well. But like, you know, just I don't know if he was the best choice for this little child chicken, but like, you know, I think it's funny. So Zach Braff, I love you. Chicken Little is my favorite performance from you. I have seen only like 5 episodes of Scrubs, and that one episode of BoJack Horseman that he was actually in like 2, but still. You're great in that, and this is my favorite role from you, honestly, Chicken Little. I'm starting to realize now that, like, I think the good stuff in it is, like, I don't know if it's, like, legitimately good. It's more so, it's just stuff that brings me enjoyment, like Zach Braff and, like, the alien stuff. Like you know, like, the design-wise and, like, some of the moments that are funny, but I don't think they're meant to be funny. But, like, I don't know. It's, like, I think that to me, that's good enough, you know? I think, like, I at least I enjoyed myself throughout the movie, so, like, it's definitely not, like, a terrible movie. I could think of Disney movies that are worse, but like this one is like, well, not good. I still had somewhat of a good time, and I could see like an idea for like a good story in there, honestly, like with the father and son dynamic. If only they took like a similar approach to like something like a Goofy movie. There I go, comparing Chicken Little to something better, where a Goofy movie actually did a good job at exploring both sides of like, you know, the problem, both Goofy and Max's. And like if they had done something like that, then like I think this could have worked better, or at least that part of the movie could have worked better. I don't know about everything else, but like, you know, I can see what they were trying to go for. It just didn't work out. But this movie's dumb, and I still had fun. So, you know, yeah. Remember how I said earlier, parts of the movie get off the vibe of like a Nickelodeon or a Cartoon Network show? I can kind of see like an alternate universe where Chicken Little became a show instead of a movie, and it followed Chicken Little and his friends run to the litter, Abby Mallard and like Fish Out of Water, going through high school shenanigans. You know, trying to become popular, but you know they're constantly bullied, and they got to go through all this weird stuff like aliens and whatnot. And you know, just like all this wacky stuff, kind of like Fish Hooks or something, which is like not Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon, but you get what I mean. And you know, and at the same time, there'll be like a subplot with Abby Mallard and Chicken Little. Will they get together? I don't know. And like, I don't know. I'm trying to think that maybe Chicken Little would work better as that. I'm not saying that show would have been good. I'm just saying it probably would have worked better. Like, I know I mentioned like a BoJack Horseman as a joke earlier, but I also remember that like has like a bunch of like you know, jokes that like feel more cartoonier and sillier compared to like all the other serious stuff that the show has. So I'm thinking like maybe like a concept like Chicken Little could have worked with like both the goofiness that it was trying to go for, like this weird off the wall type of stuff going on, pop culture reference humor, and then also like, you know, the heartfelt story. I'm putting the quotation marks. Like maybe that could have worked as a show. I don't know why I'm using BoJack Horseman as like my basis for that, like for like that comparison. They're nothing alike, but you know, I don't know. Point is actually like Chicken Little, I don't know, maybe as a show it could have worked better. I probably would have watched it, you know, honestly. I could see younger me watching that. But yeah, Chicken Little is is a movie instead, is what we got. And you know, even after all these years, knowing that it's actually dumb and not as good as I remember, it's definitely not a good movie. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I think it's fun-ish. Yeah, and like it's got some problems in it. It's definitely not good, but yeah, it's Chicken Little. You know, at least I somewhat like it. So yeah, this movie is very not great. Its emotional beats don't really hit. Its comedy is like kind of in some parts. It's not really all that great, and it relies a lot on pop culture references, which is something I did not mention. It really feels like it was trying to ride off the success of Shrek. But like, yeah, with all this stuff in it, it makes it not very great, but on the bright side, it did make Disney a ton of money back then, which they actually needed, honestly. So this movie did kind of help them in a time when they like weren't doing that great. And afterwards, we did get some really good movies afterwards. Unless you hate modern Disney, then screw Chicken Little, I guess. How dare you, Chicken Little? Regardless, Chicken Little is a movie that happened. It feels like a very weird movie that Walt Disney Animation Studios could have made. Keep in mind, I have not seen everything they made. Like I haven't seen Home on the Range, you know, that Cow movie. But this, like, out of all the ones that I've seen, this one was always like the weirdest one to me as a kid because it feels like very non-Disney. Even something like Emperor's New Groove that had more wackier comedy. Like I don't know, Chicken Little still felt weirder because it felt like it was trying to emulate other things that Disney did not normally make, like all the weirdness when it comes to like the world and like how the rules operate. Like there's humans, but there's also animals, like, you know, as like the dominant thing. I don't know, it just felt very weird. Like that stuff felt more like it'd be like in a goofy like Nickelodeon Cartoon Network cartoon, or like all the pop culture humor just felt like something Disney normally wouldn't do. And it's like everything about it just feels like, yeah, Disney, what was your deal with making this movie? Like all the decisions about it, including the alien stuff, like it just like feels very off and very weird. But you know, it seemed to work. It made them a lot of money, and yeah, a lot of people now don't really like the movie. It's not really considered that great. One of the worst Disney movies, some people say, and yeah, it kind of is. But you know, at least it's kind of enjoyable for how ridiculous it is. But yeah, make sure the sky doesn't fall on you or something. I don't know how to end this video, honestly. I've redone this ending so many times. Actually, wait, I got something better to end the video on. Okay, I got a message for Disney. Alright, so you know how you're making all these like live action remakes and everything, right? Okay, so here's the thing. Most of them really suck. In fact, almost all of them. I think the Jungle Book's actually kind of good, but like the point is, like, most of them suck, you know? And people do not like them. They're even saying, look, this is lazy. You stop doing these boring live action remakes of like these amazing animated classics that you've made in the past. Just stop doing it. Stop doing that. And it looks like they're about to do it for some of their more modern hits, like Moana. A live action Moana is gonna happen. And here's the thing, Disney, I think you're cowards. Do I think it's lame that you're doing these live action remakes at all? Absolutely. But the fact that you're like, now that you're done with all your well-known love to movies, you're gonna go ahead and start doing like the newer stuff? No. I say you should go back and do the rest of them, the ones that you missed, and that includes Chicken Little. That's right, make a live action Chicken Little, you cowards, okay? No, don't do Moana, do Chicken Little, okay? Is it gonna be good? Probably not. It'd probably be terrible, but you know what? Live action Chicken Little, let's just do it. Let's get Chris Pratt to voice Chicken Little, you know, just do it. I dare you. I actually dare you. I'll even work on it. I mean, I'll probably hate myself for doing so, but do it. Live action Chicken Little, all right, everybody? Hashtag Disney make a live action Chicken Little in the comments. Okay, no, I'm done. Okay, now the video's over.